This ridiculously good thought, the greats of the game knew all about it. Ben Hogan, Jack Nicklaus, think about this right now. Did they think about what numbers their swing was creating every single time? Did they think about certain positions? Well, yes, potentially a little bit, but they let their ball flight tell the story, as opposed to trying to create their swing to create a ball flight. What we're going to get into today is going to simplify your whole game. Let's get into the video. So today we're going to mold your ball flight to help create a much better golf swing. We're going to start with irons, but we're also going to look at this with driver as well. So I said this before, Jack Nicklaus, Ben Hogan, two absolute greats of the game. They didn't expose themselves to technology. It wasn't around. They didn't have flight scopes, didn't have TrackMan. They based it on, what is my ball flight doing? What do I have to do differently in my swing to correct my ball flight? Now, this is where I think coaching's got backwards completely. We are now trying to create pretty swings to create ball flights rather than going, you know what, I create a little bit of a slice, I need to fix it this way. I create a little bit of a draw, I need to just fix it this way a little bit. And just getting into what our club face is doing down at impact as opposed to pressure, feel, this, that, everything. It's all mumbo jumbo, right? We can't take it to the golf course. Why do we all make it so complicated? Why? Ask yourself that question right now. How complicated do I make this golf game? I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of probably giving you guys too much information, which is why I'm creating this video right now. So let's look at a slicer, right? You come to me for a lesson. You're creating a slice. We know you're creating a bit of an out to in path with an open face. So we've got to fix that, okay? And if you're brand new to the game, I just want you to hit some shots away and see what ball flights come out and build your swing and mold it around the ball flight you're creating to start with. So let's put this in perspective. I'm going to hit this one away and we're going to see a bit of a fade on this one. So probably a little bit more of a slice. Really high, nice strike, but gone way off to the right. Short of where I want it to go. None of us would be happy with that. We need to correct that. So let's have a look at what we could do to create a better swing or a better impact position. All we need is a head cover, and let's talk about some grip. So if we're slicing it right now, let's just check our grip, okay? So I'm literally creating a little bit of a change in your swing after looking at your ball flight. Not pretty pictures and see which comes out all the way around here. That's what we've got to get to. So I want you to see if you can get 2.5 to 3 knuckles on your glove hand, and you can see that on that close-up right now. I also want to make sure you've got it in the fingers, and then in the fingers on your right hand. So that's automatically going to help me square that face up a little bit more than it already was. 9 times out of 10 slices, we see a bit of a weak grip. Okay, the next thing I want you to do is just simply place a head cover in front of you here. So we knew before our face was pointing a little bit right, we were swinging a little bit left, we've corrected the face through the grip, and now we're trying to swing a little bit more neutral on our arc rather than out to in on our arc. I've created a little bit of a change, minuscule changes, reacting to a ball flight. Now hit 10 balls away for me if you're a slicer doing this, okay? Then we'll get into if you hook the ball. Bit of a stronger grip, avoid the head cover. We should start to see a totally different ball flight. It's not going to happen instantly, but we're making changes based upon ball flight. If you're still slicing it a little bit, strengthen that grip a little bit more. Move that head cover a little bit more. Make it more in the way. Use simple feedback. Let's flip this on its head now, to come to the face-on perspective with me. And if you are a golfer, that is hooking the golf ball. Not something we see a lot of on YouTube, right? We don't see a lot of those sort of videos. We don't see a lot of videos like this where we're making golf simple either. This is simple because we're changing our swing based upon our ball flight. We're not just changing our swing to make it aesthetically look better. How many of you have gone, well, I want to get like DJ? No, forget about it. Improve your ball flight, and then we can move on to this. So let's think about it this way. If you're a golfer who hooks it a little bit, we need to do the opposite. We need to make our grip a little bit weaker. And what better place to do this than out on the driving range? So we would see, generally with a person who hooks the golf ball, 3 to 4 sort of knuckles showing on our glove hand, and you can see that on this close-up right now. Make that grip a little bit weaker. Let's go 2.5 knuckles on our glove hand. And what I want you to do is place your head cover on the right hand side and really get a feeling of that club face, feeling as though we're letting it stay pointing to target for longer, rather than if you're hooking the golf ball, that toe would be working over the heel much quicker. And you can see the differences in what I'm saying here on those slow-mos to what you had before. Now you've got the more held off one, it's going to help us neutral out that ball flight. You've now got that one which is more toe working over heel. So now if you're someone who hooks the golf ball, go and grab 10 balls away and let your ball flight change over those 10 balls to really improve. This is simple stuff, okay? So I've changed this here. If I was swinging too much in to out with a closed face, I would hook the ball, hence why we've neutraled out the grip and we put the head cover on that right hand side. Let's hit this one away now. Look at the difference in what you're going to be able to create. Yes, you're not going to do it straight away, as I've kept saying, but you're going to really affect your ball flight. Let's now move on to driver. Again, a little bit of an untouched subject, and imagine what drivers those two greats of the game used. I mean, look at my modern driver right here. There's probably 2 of theirs. Let's talk about strike location. Now, we're fortunate enough to play with this modern day equipment, and hitting shots out the heel and the toe, the reaction of the ball flight is significantly reduced. We've got face, roll and bulge. So here out the toe, we tend to see the ball start a little bit further right for a right-handed player and come back in. Out the heel, start a little bit further left and come back in. Back in the day, you hit it out the toe of the heel, you knew about it. You hit it out the screws, and this comes from, a lot of you will know this, screws right behind the face. It comes out like a rocket, like on the modern day driver. But what I want you to get into your head now, as you come down line perspective with me, strike location is very important for misdiagnosing ball flight with driver. You could be, and I promise you this, a lot of people will be slicing the ball, sacrificing distance because they're striking it too much out the heel. If you're hooking the golf ball, you're probably striking it a little bit too far towards the toe. So let's go through a simple way of just finding out, well, number one, I'm fortunate enough on this Cobra driver, it actually shows me where I strike it, so I can see sort of the patterns because of this milled face. But if you've not, simple way, grab some foot spray, on there, hit a couple away, and see where you're striking this ball. Once you've hit those couple away, we can then start to go, okay, I'm striking some a little bit off the heel. I'm striking some a little bit off the toe. All I want you to do is this. So let's take a heel scenario first. I'm going to grab another T-peg out of here, and we're simply going to place, if we're someone who's catching it a little bit out the heel, we're going to place a T-peg just on the inside of the golf ball. What I want you to feel is we're going to take out that inside T-peg to move that strike location a little bit more towards the middle. Okay, so let's hit this one away. So we're swinging out the heel, we're looking to then move this golf club a little bit more towards here to allow you to strike it out the middle. Let's now talk about the scenario of if you're a golfer who's hitting it out the toe. We're now going to put the T-peg on the opposite side, on the far side of the golf ball, and we're going to try and take out the outside T-peg, moving that strike location from here to here. This again is vitally important because you could misdiagnose ball flight and then start changing your swing just simply because you're not striking it in the correct position. What I want you to get out of today's video is this. Understanding you don't have to swing perfectly to play good golf. I want you to let your ball flight tell the story and make swing changes based on that, rather than seeing someone swing it perfect on TV and try and bring these swing changes in for the sake of it. So many of us are not happy with our swing because it doesn't look right, not because it doesn't perform to what we want. So look at your ball flight, make some simple changes, and over time we'll start to improve. Finally, have a look at our strike location with driver, make sure that's out the middle, and you're going to start to really diagnose ball flights correctly. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, please don't forget to share this with some other golfers, spread the word, and also join this team by hitting the big red subscribe button.